Okay. At this point, good morning, ladies, and thank you so much for joining us. I would like to hand over to Madam Grace from the chamber, and she will give us our opening remarks, and then we will get to introduce ourselves to you, and then we can start today's session.
Thank you very much, Baba. Good morning, ladies. I know most of you are muted, so you may not be able to respond.
Good morning.
Okay. So, all welcome to this morning's special section for our special women. Let me minimize the volume of my other one too. Okay, you are all welcome, our wonderful ladies, to this morning's session with Rainbow Consult. Yes, of course, Rainbow, I have a discussion with you on that, so on your earlier submission about membership. So we will take that one after this morning's session. But before I go on, I would want to clarify that this meeting, is it 2 hours? What time are we looking at, please?
Yes, it is 2 hours.
Yes, because I have another meeting at 1, but I would want to, this meeting will be ending quite soon, and I would want to participate in this fully as soon as that finishes. But I have another one at 1 p.m. And so I just want to see how I will not miss out on this very important meeting. The chamber, as we all know, is mandated to help promote businesses and to help develop the capacity of our members. And so when Rainbow Consult contacted us with the offer of giving us this workshop, business ethics and even integrity workshop, we were so glad to receive such a wonderful information from them. And so this is the first of the 2 that we have with them. Unfortunately, a lot of our members could not be admitted because we have limited number. However, they agreed to give us 30, but I hope that all of them will be here, those who were registered. You are all welcome. I believe that business is about information. Business is about what you know and how you network. I want to encourage that this meeting or this workshop will be as interactive as possible. Aside what we are going to learn, I want to encourage our women, our very industrious women, to network, get to know others, what they do, and let's learn to do business amongst ourselves, even as we learn to make our businesses better. The chamber is very, very happy about this collaboration. I believe that this is just the beginning. We had some time ago with Rainbow Consult at Alisa, where we had all the women meet, and I believe that this is also another step, and we will grow in this our partnership for the benefit of our women and the nation at large. On this note, I want to also thank the Rainbow Consult for offering to offer this capacity workshop for free for now. I don't know what they will come out for the next ones, but for now they are giving it for us for free. It is not cheap, it is an opportunity, it's a privilege, and I pray our members that we will all take full advantage and participate fully in this. Thank you very much. If you know any member who has signed on to the first cohort who is not here, please help us draw their attention that the workshop has started so that all of them will be able to take advantage and will not be left out. Thank you so much, Baba. I hand over to you, and I will be back as soon as I'm done with the other meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's almost like you saw the contents of our slides before you gave your opening remarks, because it seems like we are all in the same spirit. So thank you so much. And we are really looking forward to an engaging time with you. At this time, I'll hand over to my colleague, Margaret, and she will open the session.
So much, Baba. And thank you so much, Akosia, for those remarks. You are in the spirit. So this is maybe the second of many sessions we hope to have with the chamber, and especially the women. At a point, we'll open this to the men as well, but we wanted the women to taste it first.
Why not? They say
And this is to all of you. You are all welcome to this session. My name is Margaret Jackson, and I'll be co-facilitating this webinar on mitigating corruption for business in global value chains with Baba Jackson, but I'm your co-facilitator. I'll be doing this with Baba, but I will start and then we will continue with Baba. So that is it. So this session is for approximately 2 hours, give and take. So let's see how it goes. And I love this quote. Look at this quote by Jeremy Zaka. You know, if you want to play in the global space, if you want to bamba with the big boys, you know that song. I wanted to even, you know, you've got to make sure that you understand what corruption is and how to mitigate corruption, because it's all about working with the big boys. It's about playing in the global space. It is about looking beyond your country. So this is what it's all about, and this is what we'll be dealing with today. If you are really interested in what we are going to be talking to you about how to make sure that you bamba with the big boys, that you go tiki taka taka with the big boys and the girls in the system, go global. If you are interested in that, kindly give me a yes in the chat box, or hover on you in the middle portion of your screen and look for emoticons and give me a thumbs up. So you can give me a yes if you are ready. I see the thumbs up. Yay! Who is ready to bamba with the big boys and girls to go on the global stage? I like it when people want to take their businesses. Ramat says yes. The way I see your yes, I know that you don't want to go tiki-taka. You want to go smoothly. Oh, please, Aku also says yes. Baba, I know that, you know, my fellow women really want to go. Oh, Madina too
also says yes.
Yes, I said that.
He said yes. So
and Chef Tracy says yes. And Chef Tracy says yes. So now let's look at this. This session is being recorded so that you can go back and listen to it. And for those who also miss it, can have the opportunity of listening to it. So that's how come we record the sessions. As I said previously, my name is Margaret Jackson. This is my contact details. I'm the managing partner of Rainbow Consult. I'm a workplace learning consultant, and Rainbow Consult is based in Accra, Ghana. You know, I'm also a certified coach, and I've been working with SMEs, helping SMEs to start and grow their businesses, ensuring that their businesses are profitable. And I've been doing this for the past 25 years. So you can imagine how this is my terrain, and this is the terrain that I play in. So I could go on and on and on and talk about the fact that I sit on the board of the Learning and Performance Institute, which is based in the UK. I sit on several boards. Let's stop there, because today is all about corruption and mitigating corruption for our businesses to grow. Baba, over to you. And before I hand over to Baba, I'm going to put off my video, because you know what, when you have your video on, it takes up bandwidth, and we want everyone to enjoy this. We want everyone to hear this. So I will set the example by putting off my video, and I hand over to Baba to introduce herself. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Margaret. My name is Baba Jackson, and I'm a partner at Rainbow Consult. And to be honest, I've been doing this since I was a little girl. And I'll let you in on a little secret, because later I'll let you in on a little secret, because you are our women from the chamber. You are very close to our hearts. But I am a Learning and Performance Institute expert trainer. I'm a certified online learning facilitator from the Learning and Performance Institute as well as a certified designer of online learning. I am also a certified International Finance Corporation and Learning and Performance Institute trainer. And also, you are in the right place because we're going to talk to you about business ethics and integrity, and we'll be talking to you a bit about the Center for International Private Enterprise, because they have set up this body and this network of consultants that help other SMEs and businesses with their ethics and integrity. And so it's actually a network of consultants. And I'm happy to share with you that at our very first awards for the network, I was recognized as one of the trainers and consultants within the network that brings a lot of value to the network of over 100 facilitators from over 16 countries in Africa. And so you are in really good hands. And we have been planning this at Rainbow for a while, this session. And so we are so excited and thankful to you that you have made this session a reality for us today. Now, my secret that I wanted to share with you, I'm sure you can see Barbara Jackson and Margaret Jackson. Today, you are blessed to be in this session with a mother-daughter duo. And so she's the mother and I'm the daughter, and we work together. And we do enjoy when we have the chance to facilitate together. And so we are really looking forward to this session with you. I'd like to hand over to my colleague, Margaret, now. I will also be turning off my camera to save on bandwidth.
Thank you so much, Barbara. And what Barbara did not tell you is that what I also did not tell you is that when I facilitate, no one calls me Margaret. When I facilitate sessions, I'm known as Her Royal Highness. So when you want to ask a question, please direct it to Her Royal Highness. I want to talk about our specialization at Rainbow Consult. So you see our specialization, capacity building, SME capacity building. And we started with human resource management because that's my forte, and instructional design. So if you want a company to design training courses, maybe we come into your organization, realize that you have challenges, you call us in, we do a performance needs assessment, then we look at what you really need. Maybe it is just machinery you need, maybe it is training that you need, maybe it is coaching that your staff need. If we realize that it is training, we can design bespoke training courses for your organization. We also are into strategic management, research and compliance. Today we are talking about integrity. We are talking about anti-corruption. We also deal with research and compliance. And we have a tool that helps you run your business better. And it's a project management tool that is known as the Independent Strategic Management Tool. It's an awesome tool. We have deployed it for some of our clients. If you need to manage your projects at your workplace, contact Rainbow Consult for the Independent Strategic Management Tool. Then we certify trainers. I'm a master trainer for the IFC, the International Finance Corporation. Barbara is an expert, Barbara and myself, we are expert facilitators for the LPI, which means we also train trainers on how to facilitate sessions that like we're doing now, both online and for face-to-face. And we accredit learning institutions, we give accreditation to learning institutions. There's a whole range of accreditations that we give to institutions and individuals. So if you're really interested in certifying as a trainer, if you want to certify your institution as a learning institution, you can contact us. This is our vision. We really want people to fulfill their potential for excellent performance and competitiveness. It is so critical to us. Now let's look at our mission. Even though it's our mission, we love it. We partner with our clients. We don't know it all. When we go into an institution, we ensure that we partner with the clients to come up with a solution that will best help them. achieve their targets. Now, as I've spoken about Rainbow, shall we then turn our attention to CIPE? Because it is CIPE that has come up with this initiative. And it is because of CIPE and our partnership with CIPE that Rainbow Consult can offer you this training. So I would like to introduce you to CIPE. So Rainbow Consult is the only, CIPE is the Center for International Private Enterprise, and Rainbow Consult is the only partner of CIPE in Ghana. And you know, I want to talk to you about our capacity as CIPE partners. In that capacity, Rainbow has the experience and expertise in strengthening the private sector through governance and training, you know, for organizations and SMEs. Wow. So we have conducted leadership and governance training for the board and leadership of several organizations in Ghana and beyond. You know, we play on the continent. So we don't only work in Ghana, we have worked across the length and breadth of the continent, helping SMEs to become very profitable. So we have facilitated capacity building retreats for board members. And if you want to facilitate a retreat for your board members, you can contact us. We've done work for Gridco, Amnesty International, and many of them, Ford Foundation, so many of them that I don't want to go on and on about what we have done, you know. So now, when we started, I asked you to introduce yourselves in the chat box. If you haven't done so yet, could you kindly introduce yourself in the chat box? Tell us where you work and what you expect to learn from this session. So could you kindly tell us where you work and what you expect to learn from this session? Let's do this for a minute. So we'll be reading your expectations as they come along. But I remember that before we started, let's have a few. I'll read out a few that came in while we started. So we had Madina to say she works at Imad Consult. Her expectation, improve knowledge in ethics for doing business. And you are at the right place at the right time. And Faustina is Faustina Melody as well. She works at Godfrey Tita Memorial Ventures. They are into Northern Ghana traditional textile and weaving. And she expects to have an in-depth knowledge on how to properly and best handle her customers. But this is more to do with ethics and anti-corruption. But I guess that we will touch on customers briefly. So let's see how it goes. Then we've heard from Ramatu Yosin of Fine Art Advisory Services. We also have Doris Ajay from Trust in Jehovah Enterprise. And Ramatu says, I'm looking forward to learning more about business ethics and integrity. Then Ramat says, I'm Ramat Saijima, CEO of Chopbox Express. I like it. I like to learn about the basic ethics that positions our business. You're in the right place at the right time, Ramat. Ramat Saijima, CEO of Chopbox Express. I'd like to learn about the basic, yeah, it's the same thing. Thank you, Ramat. Rita Akushika Diaba, founder and CEO of Yesly Ice Producers of low on sugar, sugar-free, natural beverages, ice cream and yogurts. I'll be glad to know more about basic ethics that can help my business to accelerate. Thank you. We also have Constance Bunsu of Constant Naturals. Looking forward to new knowledge and important tips and skills on the topic. Thank you. Right place at the right time. I wish we could have more. So Baba, is my minute up?
I believe so, Mr.
Okay, so
you know.
Okay, so I will move on. There's one more just came in, and it's from Casa Tomato, Nasifa Mohammed Abdullahi, founder of Casa Tomato Restaurants. soft skills and personality development coach. And she says, I'd like to learn more about business ethics to improve on customer satisfaction. Thank you so much. For those who would like to learn more on business ethics, you are in the right place at the right time. Shall we then move on? Now let's look at the session objectives. I mean, there's a reason why we are here. What do we hope to achieve by the end of this session? It's to investigate the need. You should be able to investigate the need to prevent corruption for sustainable success of organizations. Wow, you should also be able to explain how a company can get listed on Ethics First. Woo. Now let's look at the content, the topics that we'll be treating in this session. So our first topic will be the business case for mitigating corruption. Our second one will be fundamentals of business integrity. Our third one is experience sharing by a resource person, which we will do at another time. So now let's look at our focus. But before we look at our focus, I want to go back briefly to the chat box because Chef Tracy says, I'm Tracy Domeyon Oredu Abibu, CEO of my Jan Hospitality and Culinary School Enterprise. I'm here to learn more about business ethics. Thank you so much. Now let's look at, now that I've finished with this, I want to turn my attention back to my slides. And we are looking at how this course, the focus of this course. It is learner-centered. And it's all about you. So I'm going to involve you as much as possible. I'm not a lecturer, you know, so I want you to participate. Kindly write in the chat box for me. How many times did I say you should participate? I want to know if you are paying attention to me. I mentioned that you participate. How many times did I say that? Let's hear. Oh, 3 times says Georgette. Now let's hear 3 times says Akushika. Oh, you were listening. Thank you so much. Okay, now let's move on. It is said that for any meeting, you take as much as you put in. So let's see how we are going to put in to ensure that we take a lot out of this meeting. Now let's look at communication and ground rules. I want to run through the communication and some of the ways of working. Now we even say it's the ways of working. Let's see how we are going to work in this workshop. So please don't forget to sound an alarm by raising your hand if you have any challenge, and please participate. Now let's look at our other etiquettes. I want you to be honest and provide constructive feedback all the way. If I'm moving fast, you tell me. If you want to ask a question, raise your hand. I will tell you how you can notify me if you have any concerns. That's what we'll be looking at briefly. So now let's look at how we'll be using Zoom in this session. Now let's turn our attention to that. So let's go over how to mute and unmute your microphone. So on the left corner of your screen, you will see the video. So if you hover your cursor, you will see some icons pop up. And on the left corner, bottom corner of your screen, you will see the video and mic icons beside your name. Your mics are muted. Naturally, we have muted your mics. Now click, let's see that you click on it to unmute. Can we all try it a bit? You click to unmute. Yay, Ramatu, you have clicked. I see that most of you have clicked to unmute. Now click it again to mute. I want you to click it again to mute. So when I ask you to answer a question, then you click to unmute, then you click it again to mute. So let's mute ourselves. Since you are not the one speaking, kindly mute yourselves. And when I realize that you are not muting yourselves, I mute you myself. So please mute yourselves. Lily Pearl, for some funny reason, I can't mute you. Can you please mute yourself? Now let's look at, if Lily Pearl is here, I can't mute you, so please mute yourself. I wonder why I can't mute you. So now let's go to the next one, which is chat. You hover your cursor, again, middle portion, you will see chat, you click on it, and then you start typing away. And you remember to type to everyone. Otherwise, you may be typing to someone else. Before you type, you can see from my screen that a drop box comes up. There's everyone, there are names, but click on everyone so that you will be able, everyone can see your message. Are we on the same page, please? If we are, please type yes into the chat box for me. Thank you very much, Akushika. I think I should be given a prize for the most active person in class. So shall we then move on? Oh, Charles also said yes. Oh, Charles, I'm sorry. Then we have reactions. Ramat says yes as well. Then we have reactions. So the same place that we are working in, if you click on reactions, it unleashes these emoticons. So you can click on the hand that's clapping. You can also give the thumbs up. You can even smile. You can have the heart. You can have a surprise look. Hey, Charlie, you ladies are showing off. Oh, hey, Constance, I see you. Ramat, I see you. Oh, then I don't even need to. And then you can raise your hand. If I'm speaking and you want, this is getting better and nicer. I see all the emojis coming up. Thank you so much. Then I won't even belabor this. I'm moving straight into a very important question that I want to pose to all of you. Hey, hands are up already. Hey, Charlie. Okay. So thank you very much for the engagement. Now, shall we then move on to the important question that I want to ask you this morning about your key expectations. We've picked some already, but I'm going to give you a minute more to add on to the expectations that I've read. So those of you, I saw some come up when I started. I think I saw Lily Pearl, Asiedu Yenu, CEO of Lily Part Group of Companies, and she said, ready to learn more about business ethics and how to implement the knowledge acquired into my business. You are at the right place at the right time. And I also see Janet Mingle, CEO of Jonah Cakes. If I massacred it, forgive me. She says, thank you for putting this webinar together. I'm looking forward to learning more about business ethics to help to grow my business. Thank you very much. I don't think any more has come in. A Mad Consult says expectation, improve knowledge in ethics for doing business. Thank you. So I think, oh, there's one more that has come up. Ernestina Brocker says, Tinaland Enterprise, Fashion and Apparel, to have a fair knowledge about business ethics. Thank you so much. Baba, is my minute up, please?
Yes, it is up now. I was hoping that there would be a last one before it was up.
Yes, I'm also hoping that there'll be a last one. But just wait a little bit before I move on. Am I permitted to do so, Baba?
Just a little, because I like you.
Thank you. So thank you all very much for the remarks that have come in so far, the expectations that have come in so far. So now let's move on. I'm going to deploy my first poll, and that is on a scale of 1 to 5, rate your organization's ability to prevent and mitigate corruption. and fraud risk in your operations. So I would want it. Hey, Baba, someone has then already started answering. Wow. Hey, you are in the spirit, sister. Please, as many there are, how many of us here online? At least 22. Please, let's start responding. Only 5 people have responded so far. I need more. 7 so far, Baba. No, please, let's respond. I'm not going to, it's anonymous, so I'm not going to say who wrote what. I can't even see who wrote what. So please fill as much as you can, because I don't see who is behind what. 11 so far. I need more. I need more. Because it gives me a fair idea of who is in the room and how much we can help or not help. So let's be as honest as possible with this. Or someone has entered and answered in the chat box. Thank you very much, Ramat. So I know that it is not 16, it is 17.
Yeah, okay, now this is good.
Okay, okay. So please end the poll and let's show participants what we got. Oh, and Charles has also answered in the chat box. So we are okay. We are more than okay. So please end the poll and let's share the results. Wow, 18%. We are not able to. 12%. 2, then 12%. So let's say 4, 35 plus 59, we are really on top of things is 24. And most people are 35. So let's see. Baba, are we going to take the same polls after we have discussed issues?
Yes, we most definitely will.
Thank you so much. So now that we know the mix in this room, it tells me how to structure the discussion. So I think we are in a safe space. Okay, now let's move on. This was just to test your pulse. Let's discuss the benefits of staying with Baba and myself and I in this session. You know, when you are able to mitigate corruption, your business saves money. I mean, having that compliance programs makes your company even competitive. You know, it helps you save money. Can you imagine the money that you'll be giving out to people to bribe, to corrupt officials? You save your money and your business becomes attractive. How do I say so? Even employees looking for jobs will say, this is a clean business. And then the big boys that I said and girls that I said, if you want to bumper with the big companies, the global organizations, if you want to be in their value chain, they are looking at organizations that are clean, that will not give them wahala if they partner them. So it makes your business very attractive. And let's look at this. Your staff, they become confident, they become proud. I know that in this organization, we do the right things. Our names are not going to be mentioned on the radio, on TV. We are not, so we work confidently with our chest out. Now that I've shared a few of, and I also want to say that a compliance program fosters ethical behavior in the company. So your staff actually are not able to steal from you. You see, when they see that you are a corrupt person, they also become corrupt. As we say in P, please pardon me, we say nam seya is a profanity. So, Baba, how do you say that in English? Monamako school.
This one, I don't know if there's an English version. Something about the tone at the top, I guess. The tone
Yes,
at the
it
top.
is. There's a tone at the top. So overall, a company saves more money by not paying kickbacks, bribes, preventing internal fraud, cheating, and avoiding increased cost of illegal transactions. Now let's move on to CIPE, because I remember we told you that CIPE has come up with this, and we are partners of CIPE. So, and CIPE, as I said, is the Center for International Private Enterprise. Hey, who wants to know more about CIPE? If you want to know more about CIPE, kindly give me a yes in the chat box or a thumbs up. Then I know that you want to learn more about CIPE. Hey, Akutika is there. Who else is giving me? Georgette has given me the thumbs up. Nicole has given me the thumbs up. Oh, wow. Okay, you want to learn more about CIPE. Ramat has given me the thumbs up. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And Stanley too, I see your hand, your thumbs up. Oh, Trina, I see your thumbs up. You know, CIPE was founded in 1983. Wow. Madina, hold on. I will pause on CIPE because I've seen that Janet, Madina too, and others have also given me the thumbs up in the chat box. Now let me go back to what I was saying about CIPE. CIPE was founded in 1983 as a non-profit part of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and U.S. National Endowment for Democracy. Wow. And the headquarters is in Washington, D.C. And it has over 200 active programs. And guess the countries, you see it, 80 countries. So CIPE is not baby, not baby at all. What does CIPE do? It's about strengthening corporate governance and private sector anti-corruption initiatives. And CIPE does this globally. Yes. And the aim is to promote market reforms. Wow. So let's hear some more about CIPE. So in Africa, CIPE is present. You remember I said it's a global organization. So it works across 24 countries in Africa. And when you talk about corruption, anti-corruption, it is a thought leader. CIPE is a thought leader. Wow. It has remarkable successes in Asia, Europe, and the Middle East and North Africa. Let's take a close look at what we will be discussing today. Yay, it's all about today. Part one is in two parts. I'll be taking part one, and part one talks about the business case for mitigating corruption. Why are we here? I need to give you the business case. Why, as a business, you should mitigate corruption. And then Baba will come over and talk to you about the fundamentals of ethics. So now let's move straight into the business case for mitigating corruption. If you're ready for the business case for mitigating corruption, kindly type yes in the chat box for me. I want you to pamper me. If you are ready for it, please type, Akushika, spot on. Aku is saying yes. Aku, when I meet you in the chamber meeting, I think I have to give you your chocolates. Ramatutu and Constance Bonsu and Ernestina and Ramat, they are all saying yes. They are ready to learn more about business ethics and the business case. Even Stanley says yes. Madina Tutu says yes. Now that I know a lot of people are interested in it, now let's look at the business case for mitigating corruption. It is about why should your business prevent corruption? Please, in the chat box, tell me why your business should prevent corruption. You can also raise your hand. I will ask you to unmute and share. You know, it's about, they say sharing is caring. So in the chat box, please write why your business should mitigate corruption. To save money, says Akushika, spot on. Aku, thank you so much. Dr. Sabayana gives us the thumbs up. saves losses and money. Thank you, Ramatu. Thank you so much. Why should your business? To strengthen governance of organization. Thank you, Madinatu. You are spot on. You are also spot on. Oh, you want to learn more, Dr. Sabina? Okay, now let's move on here. To save money, says Chef Tracy. Okay, now I want to move on. Let's take a few minutes to look at some key concepts. Before we delve into this, I want us to look at some key concepts. I'd like to start with ethics because I've been using ethics and I'm sure some of you are saying, what is ethics? You can see it on my screen. It's a study and it's of appropriate business policies and practices. And it has to do with potentially controversial subjects. And these include corporate governance, insider trading, bribery, discrimination, corporate social responsibility, and fiduciary responsibilities. Now let me move on to the next one. What is integrity? Because normally we talk about integrity. What is integrity? And we are looking at the Merriam-Webster dictionary. So it's about trustworthiness, incorruptibility to a degree that one is incapable of being false to a trust, responsibility, or pledge. Oh, I want to take a poll. Now that we have looked at these concepts, I want to take a poll, another one. Doing business with integrity and ethics should give businesses a competitive advantage. Would you participate if there was a way to achieve that? Oh, Baba, I get my yeses in the chat box. So I guess we will move on. Kindly put your answers in the chat box for me. Oh, there's a poll. Please answer the poll. Please answer the poll. It's up. So I see 5 people have answered already. We are more than 5 on this call. Could I have the others, please? Oh, now I have 7. Let's hear some more. I want to know. Everybody wants to know. I want to know. Oh, I want to know. Baba, do you want to know?
I really, really, really want to know. I really want to know. So we need a few more people.
Okay, thank you very much, Baba. I knew you would understand. Oh, we have stopped at 10. You see, in any meeting, you take as much as you put in. Kindly answer my question for me. It's on your screen. Just click on yes or no, depending on your answer, and then click on submit, and I will get the answer. And it's anonymous, so don't worry. Be happy. Nobody knows what you are putting in there. So please be as honest as you can. Should I be saying as you can? Please be honest with it. Baba, we've got 14. I wish we had 6 more, at least 6 more.
Me too.
Oh, if wishes were horses, beggars would ride. But I want my participants to participate as much as possible. Please participate, participate, participate. The question is on your screen. Baba, I guess we should end it now.
I agree.
Can't wait for this forever and ever.
I agree, Mrs. J. So it's time for us to end it now. And there are your results.
Whoa. Baba, those who answered, they are all saying yes. Could you kindly stop sharing?
I believe it's unanimous.
Yeah. And the good news is that there's help on the way. There's a way of doing this. So we are at the right place at the right time. Aren't we all? Now that you say yes, let's move on to the part of this legal duty, duty of care. I told you I want us to look at as many concepts as possible. So when we talk about legal duty or duty of care, it refers to the corporate governance principle that directors, please note, directors and officers of the corporation, when making decisions in their capacity as corporate fiduciaries, must avoid foreseeable harm to the company. So as an owner of a company, as a director, you must avoid foreseeable harm to the company. I'm going to ask you another question. What are some foreseeable damages that corruption and fraud could cause your company? Kindly pop your answers into the chat box. And we're going to do this for 1 minute. Kindly pop your answers into the chat box. My question is on the slide. What are some foreseeable damages that corruption and fraud could cause to your company? Let's pop our answers into the chat box. Bad reputation in the marketplace. Thank you very much, Ramatu. Madinatu says fines and penalties. Thank you very much, Madinatu. Let's wait for others as well. Let's all participate. Ramat says you lose investors or suppliers and clients. Thank you so much, Ramat. Baba Charlie, my participants are on the road. They know it already. Let's hear some more. Maybe I should be packing my bags. I should. Maybe I should go home, but I want to hear some more. There are more than 3 of us here. Ernestina says big losses. Thank you so much, Ernestina. I want to know. Everybody wants to know. I want to know. Oh, I want to know. Let's hear some more. Let's hear some more. You've heard from only 4 of you. What are some foreseeable damages that corruption and fraud could cause your company? Yes, you take as much out of any meeting as you put in. Losing, lots of clients, says Chef Tracy. Spot on, Chef Tracy. Thank you so much. Georgette, it can be a death blow to your business. Yes. Thank you very much, Georgette. And Charles says loss of integrity in clients. Thank you very much, Charles. Spot on. A direct loss is in, there are some direct losses too, is in the form of kickbacks that sometimes you pay to officials. If you pay kickbacks, can you imagine? It will affect your bottom line. And you mentioned it, you were also right, fines, loss of business when a company is found to have violated local anti-corruption law. These days on the TV, I hear that you see pictures of officials that are said to have used corrupt practices to obtain things, and it's on TV. Can you imagine? And I like what Lily Pell is also saying here, bad reputation that can lead to a loss. Yes. And Faustina also says business can collapse or run to a halt in the long term. Yes. So these are some of the losses. And you are also spot on. And then it can, even your customers can also lose interest in what you do. And you can be victimized by corrupt public officials without regard. So these are things that you have to look out for. Look at some of the indirect ones. Loss of international business opportunity. Now the international businesses are looking for businesses that do not deal in corrupt practices. they realize that you are corrupt, they won't come. You lose international investments. So these are some of the losses that you could experience. So now let's look at how are employees harmed by corruption and fraud. Your employees, how are they harmed by corruption and fraud? Kindly pop your answers into the chat box for me. So I deal in corrupt practices. How does this affect my employees? My question is on the slide. Constance says loss of credibility and fallout with customers, prospective partners, and poor corporate image. Yes, thank you. Now, my next question is on the slide. How are employees and shareholders harmed by corruption and fraud? Kindly pop your answers into the chat box. Madina says they become victimized. Thank you so much. Lack of commitment, says Faustina. Akushika says victimized. Now let's hear some more. I want to know. Everybody wants to know. I want to know. Oh, I want to know. Oh, give me some more and then I will move on. Ramat says they will personally lose confidence in the business principles and activities. Thank you so much, Ramat. Thank you, spot on. Loss of trust, says Dr. Sabina. Yes, thank you very much. So you see, a direct loss is in form of kicks, kickbacks, bribes that we pay. Now let's look at how that affects us. You see, money that should be sent into research, money that should be sent for training your employees, developing your employees, use that to pay kickbacks. So your employees suffer in the long run. Then you tell them, I can't develop you, I can't take you on training, I can't have a coach for you. They know you are paying kickbacks, they know you are paying bribes. That is no good. It doesn't help with the development of your employees. And when you do that, it encourages your staff to espouse similar unethical values. Then they start even stealing from you. Then they also, when they go to the market and they are buying for your company, and they go to the shop and the shop owner asks them, they bought something that is 50 cedis. Then the shop owner will ask them, should I write 50? They'll say, oh no, write 100. Then they pay 50 and they pocket your 50 because they know that that is what you also do. Nampra, a profinity. And they don't trust you, your employees don't trust you, and they don't respect you. Now let's have another question. How are customers and the business community harmed by corruption and fraud? Now it's about your customers and it's about the community that you find yourself in. How are they affected by fraud and corruption? You think it is my business, but you engage in fraudulent activities, it affects the business, your customers, and the business community. How so? Kindly pop your answers into the chat box for me. I want to know. Everybody wants to know. I want to know. Oh, I want to know. If you engage in fraud, how does it affect your customers? Kindly pop your answers into the chat box for me. The question is on the slide, please. Let's use a minute for this. Your customers may stop patronizing you, says Ramat. Thank you. Ernestina says clients are discouraged. Thank you, Ernestina. Let's hear some more. Please. breeds mistrust, customer relationships surface, loss of respect, says Constance. Thank you very much. Now I want you all to think about it. If I'm paying bribes, if I'm corrupt, won't the prices of my goods and services necessarily go up? They will go up. Chef Tracy, I'm moving on from what I'm saying to what Chef Tracy has said in the chat box. Your business will be a target as a corrupt, would be targeted as a corrupt business, and you will lose all your clients. Yes. Oh, thank you, Chef Tracy. So when it's online that you are corrupt and you have been even banned, do you think your clients will want to be associated with you? No. And then Ramatu says, oh, let's look at Ramatu. You said something here. Your business will be, Ramatu says, of doing business with you becomes unnecessary. Yes, the cost of doing business with you will become unnecessarily high, and they will go to other places. So these are some of the disadvantages of being corrupt. Now, my last question in this set. Oh, there's an answer here. Before I move to my last question, Akushika says it may hinder its ability to attract and retain business partners. Oh, now I'm clapping for you. Yes, you know, you can't even attract and retain your customers themselves and partners. Yes, thank you very much. So now my next question is, do you think a free-to-use resource for improving your organization's management and integrity system is a much needed resource? If there was a business resource and it is free to use for improving your organization's management and integrity systems, do you think it's needed, that free to use tool that you can use for improving your organization's management integrity systems? Is it a much needed resource? Kindly pop your answers into the chat box for me. Oh, Constance says yes, 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 yes. Let's hear others. Yes, says Chef Tracy. Yes, says Akushika. Yes, says Charles. Oh, let's hear from others. I want to hear from Janet. Georgia says yes. I haven't heard from Janet in a long while. I haven't heard from Loretta. I want to hear from you. Yes, says Ernestina. Yes, I want to hear from almost everybody. Ernestina, what do you say? Constance, what do you say? I want to hear from you, Constance. I want to hear from you, Ernestina. Bamba says yes. Yay, I'm hearing from as many people as possible. I just wanted to. Equia, I want to hear from you. Doris says yes, so Janet says yes. Equia, are you in the house? Let's hear from you. Occasionally, I'll call on you to answer questions for me. Thank you all very much for your contributions. Equia says, I'm here. Hey, I'm happy you are still here. Oh, good to hear from you. Now, Faustina says, yes. Okay, now let's look at my next slide. What do these have in common? Let me tell you what these organizations that you see online on my slide have in common. They have all gotten into trouble because of their third parties. Can you imagine? For all of them, violations occurred in different countries, including countries in Africa, through third-party entities. Now listen to what happened. Exponential losses to all of them. There was exponential losses to all of the companies involved, and their shareholders paid large fines. Can you imagine? They also experienced diminished personal and corporate reputations. They also experienced this, look at what they did, cut jobs and hours. And they lost expansion opportunities in the different countries that they were operating. They also lost investor confidence and capital. Losing investor confidence can harm us. So for example, the corruption occurred in third-party operations in Africa for Goodyear, ZTE, and Halliburton. And do you know what happened to them? It led to huge losses to the companies and individuals. It also led to loss of jobs. So all that we're saying is that when you become corrupt and you are bad or something happened to you, can you imagine your employees, they lose their job because if you can't operate, you have to send people home. Think about it. How as SME owners, as business people, we are so passionate about leaving a legacy. And then because of anti-corruption and bribery, something happens to your organization, you can't leave a legacy, your employees are sent, you have to send them home. When this happened, if you see Goodyear is here, when this happened to Goodyear, they had to pull out of Kenya. This is bad business, and we shouldn't be found in this bad business. Now, I'd like to move on. I want to show you who third parties could be. So please look carefully on my slide. I have nicely explained who third parties are because we said they got into trouble because of their third parties. So sometimes we can get into trouble because of our agents and intermediaries. Maybe you have contractors, your suppliers. You've got to see that if you are clean, make sure you also bumper with clean organizations. The joint ventures and the consortiums that you form, you've got to be very careful about who you tangle with and who you do business with. Because you see, the world has become a global village and all others, the big global organizations are looking out for those who have done clean businesses, those who have done joint ventures and have formed consortia with others that are also clean. Now let me ask you a question. If you are in a high risk region, then I wanted to ask you a question on risk. I wanted to ask you a question on risk. And I want to go back here because I was talking about compliance. And I was talking about if you are not together, if you don't tie your wrapper with someone who is also clean, then you are going to be in trouble. And I want to talk about risk and losing opportunities. Does risk stand taller than your company? Look at my picture. Look at how risk is taller than the person. Now imagine your company, and I'm asking you, does risk stand taller than your company? Kindly pop your answer into the chat box. If risk does not stand taller than your organization, kindly write no. But if there's so many risks that you haven't attended to, please write yes. Please write yes or no for me. Oh, I see a yes, I see a no. I see a no by Bamba. I see a no by Constance. Okay. Okay, no, I see no. Everyone is saying risk does not stand taller than my organization. No, if you are in a high risk region and industry, and your company has no comprehensive compliance program, then the answer is yes. And investors only see risk. How many of us have risk programs, compliance programs? How many of us have comprehensive compliance programs? If you have a comprehensive compliance program, please type yes into the chat box for me, because they are all saying no. I want to know if you have a comprehensive compliance program. If you have a compliance program, write yes. Hey, Madinatu says I have a program. Sabina says no. Yes, let's be honest. We are here to support you, Rainbow Consult. If you don't have a compliance program, please Say it now or forever hold your peace. I'm only kidding. This is not a wedding ceremony. So when I say forever hold your peace, I'm just kidding. But you see, what you can do to change that, especially if your company is a third party or plans to be in international value chain, let's look at what you can do. You've got to stand taller than your risk. If you want to bamba with the big boys, stand taller than your risk. We saw risk. I wanted to go back to this. And risk was standing taller than the individual. Now, what I'm saying is that you've got to stand taller than risk. How do I mean? Look at the picture on your slide. On your screen, my slide. Look at the right. On the left, I'm saying stand taller than risk. On my right, I have ethical and compliance risks at the top. Look at the cloud. It has ethical and compliance risks. Now you need that umbrella. You see that umbrella to protect the company against risks as it pursues business opportunities and growth. So you want to grow. You want more opportunities. Look at my umbrella. The umbrella is about the compliance programs, ethical, having an ethical culture, having anti-corruption policy. Wow, if you look at it, on top of the umbrella, inside the umbrella is written compliance, ethical culture, anti-corruption policy. Those are the things that you need to protect yourself against. Look at what is coming from the cloud. Requests for gifts, bribes. Hey, you go to that agency, I don't want to mention it. They say, if you don't give me this, pay whatever you have to pay. If it's tax, if it's your social security, pay it. We all know the cost of corruption, so pay. And don't accept the request for gifts and bribes. There's also requests to overpay commissions, expenses. Can you imagine? Money laundering, offshore payments. We also have dishonest, incompetent staff. Protect yourself against dishonest, incompetent staff. You know that staff is dishonest. You sit back and you say, oh, if I send Kwame, ask for Kwame, he will pay me. I don't want to soil my hands. But it's still your company. Dishonest partners and agents, we have mentioned them already. Dishonest public officials, please use this umbrella of compliance, ethical culture, anti-corruption policy to protect the people in your organization. Look at corporate assets beneath the umbrella. You are protecting these. Look at the things beneath the umbrella that you have to protect. Your people, your property, and your reputation. If we were at church, I would have asked you, am I preaching good? Am I teaching you something with this slide? If I am, please write yes in the chat box. I want to know. Everybody wants to know. I want to know. Oh, I want to know. Oh, I see the yeses coming in. The yeses coming in thick and fast. Okay, thank you. So this is how you protect yourself against unethical practices. So take control. If you don't take control, you lose control. You see, do you or the organizations you work with want to take control or lose control? Please pop your answer into the chat box. Do you want to take control or lose control? I see the yeses. Now, my next question. Take control. Take control is what I see. Bamba says take control. Georgia says take control. So you see, when you take control, all the things we spoke about, there's reduced cost of doing business. When you lose control, higher cost of doing business, you pay the bribes out, we cheer you. Then, when you take control, ethical and brand reputation. When you lose control, diminished reputation. Who wants diminished reputation? I see someone laughing. Who is laughing? If you don't take control, diminished reputation. If you take control, you promote compliant company culture. So everyone in your company is compliant. You lose control, a company culture that endorses internal fraud. Well, staff, one thing via bank, bank. So take control. And take control, retention, and then you have retention of valuable staff and their ideas. You lose control, you lose business opportunities, you lose staff, you lose investments. You take control, you improve service quality. Because everything is going smoothly. You lose control, lose innovation, and you are paying bribes. You are hot. How can you even be creative? So you see, I want you to be smiling all the way, like this lady. Look at her smiling because she's in control. CSR, she has that corporate social responsibility in place, and she has her peace of mind. If you don't do, you won't be smiling like her. There'll be risk of bankruptcy and loss of significant revenue and sources. Please take control, take control. My case here was a business case for mitigating corruption. My last words, even though I'll come back, is take charge, take control, smile all the way to the bank, smile all the way with your partnerships. This is where I hand over to Baba to talk about ethics first. Baba, can you kindly take over? Thank you.
Thank you so much. And yes, I will be taking over from you now. Please give me a second as I switch over the screen. Just a second, please, as I switch over my screen.
So please, I would like to, so far, I would like you, whilst Baba is switching over, tell me what you have picked up from my session on the business case. Could you kindly pop your answers into the chat box for me while we wait for Baba? Thank you so much. Tina says what she has learned is take charge. Baba, are you ready?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay, then that's
ready.
Fine. Because Baba also says, Baba, the answers are coming in. I hand over to you.
Yes, taking control. Bamba says taking control, being taller than your risk and being confident. Thank you so much, Bamba. And Madina to say, conduct your business the right way to prevent corruption, which will lead to losses. Thank you so much. I can see that, Mrs. J, you've really laid a good foundation for me to be able to discuss the fundamentals of ethics first. And so now we have talked about why do we need to mitigate corruption. And so now we would like to introduce you to a free-to-use tool that you can use to mitigate your corruption risk. If you are interested and excited to learn about this, please give me a yes in the chat box. Oh, Bamba, thank you so much for the yes. Georgette says yes. Sabina says a big yes. Faustina says yes. Yes, the yeses are coming in fast and thick. I see that Ernestina has raised her hand. Ernestina, I can give you a minute. Please, you can either unmute yourself and share your question, or you can type your question in the chat box. Ernestina, please feel free to either unmute yourself or share your question in the chat box.
Sometimes that means a yes.
A yes. Okay, I was beginning to say I think it means a yes, but Ernestina, if you do have a question, please alert me so I can give you the chance to answer. And so moving on, we are going to talk about this ethics first that we have been talking about. And so we would like to start with a question. So now please type for me in the chat box, yes or no. Have you heard about ethics first before? Have you heard about ethics first before? Or what do you know? If you've heard about ethics first, what do you know? No, Bamba says no. And Estina, thank you for saying that you are fine and you don't have a question. No, please, yes, there are a number of no's coming in fast. No, 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 no. Okay, then let me take this opportunity to discuss with you what ethics first is. And I like to say that ethics first is 3 things. And I'd like you to keep those 3 things in your mind. Ethics first is 3 things. It's a database, it's a resource, and it's a mechanism. That's all that you need to know. It's 3 things. DBR. It's a database, it's DMR, sorry. It's a database, it's a mechanism, and it's a resource. That's at the base what ethics first is. It's a database, then it's a resource, then it's a mechanism. Let's take a deeper look at what exactly ethics first is, will we? And so there, we are saying that ethics first is a database. It's a database of sustainable, low-risk SMEs and suppliers in Africa who have an enhanced compliance culture. And so as we talk more, you see it's a repository. It's like a phone book that you can look up. It's a phone book or repository for compliance companies all over Africa. And the objective of this is that it ensures that your business has embedded corruption risk mitigation into it's embedded in your company. It's embedded. And that's the objective for that portion of what ethics first is saying, that it's a database. And then it's also a resource. It gives you compliance solutions, templates. There's so many things that you have access to on templates, solutions, ideas that you have access to once you are listed on ethics first to help you in your compliance journey. And the objective of ethics first being is a resource is that you get access to free customized tools and resources. You are able to network with professionals, and these professionals that you are able to network with, their services are affordable, localized, and customized to the sector, to the need, to the risk profile, and your local regulatory context. So as we are talking in Ghana right now, we are the site partners in Ghana, and we know the terrain in Ghana. And so we are the ones who build the free tools. We help in customizing these free tools so that they will fit the Ghanaian context much, much better. And it's also a mechanism. It incentivizes business integrity, transparency, and accountability. Are you on ethics first? It's just a mechanism to incentivize ethics and integrity in business. And the objective of this is that it gives you a competitive advantage. And I am in love with making money and in love with my bottom line. And so for everything that we talk about in our own business, as well as when we are talking to other businesses, we care about the bottom line. And ethics first gives you a competitive advantage when you are trying to access finance, markets, and supply chains. And Mrs. Jade spoke about this, so I'm sure that this is known. She spoke about this, about the risks and people who have been in trouble, all those companies who will not touch third parties and vendors, who all those international companies who will not touch third parties and vendors who are not compliant. So listing on ethics first makes you more attractive to these global international companies because they know that you are in compliance with both the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act as well as the UK compliance laws and all major international laws. So now let's look at an overview of ethics first. I'm about to give you some facts and figures, and I find them so staggering. These are our challenges in Africa. $33 billion is what the annual financing gap is for small businesses in Africa. $330 billion. And this statistic is from the International Finance Corporation. And then they are saying that the World Bank also estimates that 10% is added to the cost of doing business in Africa. That's an added cost that we pay every day. 10% added to the cost of doing business in Africa due to corruption. Imagine that. Then they're saying that 1 in 3 Africans have paid bribes in the past year. And that is from the Afrobarometer, the popular Afrobarometer report. And then we are also saying that $148 billion is lost annually in Africa to corruption. This is from the African Union. $148 billion lost on the continent to corruption every year. Now, I'd like to ask you a question. Please share with me in the chat box. In one word, how do you feel looking at all this money and all these stats of the losses that we make on the continent due to corruption? Please share with me in one word, how do these stats make you feel? Finding out that 330 billion is the financing gap. Yes, sad, bad. Janet also says sad. It's sad. $148 billion lost annually to corruption. How does that make you feel? Share with me in the chat box, please. 10% is added every day to the cost of doing business. And 1 in 3 Africans paid a bribe in the last year. Charles, thank you. This just, this news makes you speechless. So let us see what we can do about this. What can we do? What is in our power? The good news is that there's an opportunity and that there is a 300% increase in public service delivery if corruption is reduced. That's what the World Bank estimates, that there can be a 300% increase in public service delivery if corruption is reduced. So there's an opportunity. And there's even better news. 3 trillion growth potential in Africa and then under the Africa Continental Free Trade Act that has been passed. So there's really an opportunity for us here, even though we are losing all of this. There's an opportunity for us. Sabina says 1 in 3, I doubt. Do you think it's more? Maybe because people knew that they were being polled, they did not really give the truth about it. Maybe it's even more than 1 in 3. Or are you saying it's less? Let's move on. I'd like to ask you a question. How long do you think it takes, or in your experience, how long does it take a small company or startup to start from registering? That is, that you're a formal country, you're a formal business, you've registered, and to, in case you want investment for investors, how long do you think the process takes in Ghana? If you just take a guess, how long do you think it takes? Two years. Shopbox, yes. Yes, Shopbox Express says 2 years. How long do you think? I'd like to have some more answers. How long do you think it takes the company to get from registration to, if you want investments, if it's direct investments or even a loan from a bank, how long do you think it takes? 5 years. Bamba says 5 years. It actually takes 6 months. Sabina says 6 months. Faustina says 3 years. Yes, yes. Thank you so much for your contributions. You are spot on. It actually takes, and Charles, you took the words right out of my mouth. It takes 2 to 5 years. It takes 2 to 5 years for the average company to start from formality, that is registration, to being investment ready. And a lot of these delays are due to the due diligence part and the corporate governance part, which is what we are here to talk about and which is what Ethics First helps with. So why Ethics First? Why Ethics First? And we are saying Ethics First because it increases the efficiency in the SME operations. It reduces costs. It's easier for investors to access Ethics First files for due diligence. Example, if we are preparing, let's say Rainbow Consult is preparing for investments, Ethics First listing makes it easier for us when we are running large projects because it reduces the time to 2 to 3 weeks. We are saying that it takes 2 to 3 days for you to get investment readiness. When you are listed on Ethics First already, before you are looking for investments, Ethics First has been proven that once you're already listed, it cuts the time down to 2 to 3 weeks, especially if you are in the gold and silver categories. And we will talk more about the categories of Ethics First, their categories, especially if you are in the gold and silver categories, it cuts the time. And when it cuts down the time is money. So it saves on the back and forth and the explanatory phone calls, everything. It cuts down all of that. And you also now have free access to low-risk suppliers and potential partners in the value chain. We spoke about the fact that Ethics First is a repository and that the Center for International Private Enterprise, which champions Ethics First, is an arm of the American Chamber of Commerce. And so being listed on Ethics First means that these American companies that work within our country can go to the Ethics First website and look at countries that the American Chamber of Commerce's sister body, CIPE, has said that these companies are compliant, and if you deal with them, you will never be in trouble with the US government. That gives you such access to commercial opportunities and information within the ecosystem. And it also increases your economies of skills, because if you're on Ethics First, it's a repository, so you can see who your like-minded partners are. So it's not even just about foreign investors, it's also who can you work with and partner with within your country that is like-minded. Ethics First gives you a brilliant idea of that. It also increases the trust in your business and promotes fair competition and business accountability. This is because you belong to an honor-based community of like-minded businesses globally. And so we will share ideas, we will learn how to avoid pitfalls in highly risky environments, and we'll also avoid retaliatory action by belonging to an honor-based society. So it's not like you are going to be the one to be fighting the government agencies alone. Once we are all together, part of this honor-based community, we can go to certain government agencies and say, we are 150 strong people who say we will not pay bribes. We need to have a conversation with you about how we cannot do business with your organization until you do bribes. It also helps with trade. And we are talking about reducing trade barriers for your business and also for the industry. I don't want to belabor this point. You can attract foreign direct investments, finance, forex, cross-border trade opportunities to your sector and to your country. And so it's so great when trade is concerned. And also, I love this, you set the standard. And I am so passionate about African businesses and companies setting international standards. And so you get to establish a standard, international standards for your company. You can even boast and say that my company is adhering to global best practices where compliance is concerned. And that makes you and your employees feel good. Now let's look a bit deeper. Now that I've explained the importance of Ethics First to you, are you intrigued to know a bit deeper about Ethics First? If you are, please send me a yes on the chat box. Thank you so much. The yeses are coming in fast and hard. Thank you, Sabina. Thank you, Bamba. The yeses are coming in fast and hard. And so we shall move on quickly. We've talked about it. The aim of the Ethics First platform is to de-risk investment in African economies. That's all. We want African economies to be less risky. We want investors to look at African economies, African businesses, and not think that we are so risky. The platform was created to enable businesses increase efficiency and to become so attractive to investors. That is the importance of Ethics First to us. And it helps you to evaluate your company's compliance program and make changes when necessary. That's it. We are just evaluating your company's compliance so you can make changes where necessary for accountability. Now we've talked and talked, we cannot oversell the benefits of Ethics First. And we've talked about some of it. So can you share for me in the chat box, what does Ethics First do for you? After these conversations, what do you think some of the benefits after the conversations we had earlier of Ethics First are? Please share in the chat box. Thank you so much, Constance. Speaking my language, foreign direct investments. Thank you so much. I want to know, like Mrs. J, I also want to know. Thank you so much. Sabina improves discipline and promotes FDI, foreign direct investment, helps you comply to acceptable global standards. Madina, to thank you so much. Faustina, investment readiness. Thank you so much. Constance, again, thank you so much. It does facilitate trade. And we have a few other benefits that I can take us through. Global recognition, we've talked about it. Once you're on the platform, you are recognized as part of Africa's trusted business ecosystem. It also increases your visibility and brand recognition, because now everybody knows that you are a trusted low-risk counterpart in Ghana. It also helps you build your capacity, because as you progress through the platform, your company will build capacity to demonstrate internationally recognized business best practices. Just by going through the process, the capacity of your company is going to be increased. And of course, I love this. Ethics First also grants you exclusive access to global businesses so that your growth can be sustainable. And they said, this one, peace of mind when you go to bed. You don't have to think, are the police going to come for me? Is Yoko coming for me? Will the special prosecutor be investigating my company later on? Well, I guess not the special prosecutor, because we are not public companies. But you will not be looking over your shoulder every time. So now, companies should consistently nurture an ethical orientation. And so these are the values that Ethics First listed companies base their foundation of their company and this ethical journey that they are going on. These are some of the values of Ethics First. But before I share the values, looking at compliance, and we talked about it, what do you think some of the values of Ethics First will be? Looking at all these conversations we've had here today, please share with me in the chat box. Please share with me in the chat box. Oh, please share with me in the chat box. What are some of the values of an ethics? What do you think? If not, maybe I'll share with you. I'll share with you what I have, and then we can discuss. Oh, I see some coming in. Thank you so much. It helps reshape your business. And Estina, you are so spot on. Thank you so much. Honesty. Thank you so much, Georgette. Good standing in the global business community. Thank you so much, Constance. Let me share with you the values that we adhere to as Ethics First companies. Loyalty. Loyalty is being faithful to commitments or obligations. And it's a firm adherence to a person or a thing, to an oath or a promise that they've made. So that's one of the values of Ethics First companies, loyalty. When you sign on to Ethics First, you're saying that my company will adhere firmly to the oath or a promise that I have made in a contract, resisting any temptation to abandon or turn against it. And then we have honesty. Honesty, uprightness of character in action. You need to be honest. Yes, Faustina, we will make the recording available to you. Leadership is the next. Leadership, I'm so sorry, I'm having some technical challenges. Leadership is the next point. It's the next value. And it's about social influence. Leaders are expected to set an example. So that's what we were saying, the tone at the top. And so Ethics First companies have leaders that are committed to ethics and integrity from the very beginning. And there we have it, integrity. And Mrs. J explained integrity at the beginning of this session. Adherence to the code of moral values that involve trustworthiness, equity, and incorruptibility. Accountability. How can you have integrity without accountability? It's the readiness to bear yourself and to say that I can give answers or explanations or justifications for my judgments, intentions, or actions, or the things that my company has been involved in. And lastly, we have respect, a high regard honor or esteem for feelings, wishes, rights, and dignities of others. If you respect others, you will treat them with honor, and you will treat them ethically. So these are the values of ethics first companies: loyalty, honesty, leadership, integrity, accountability, and respect. So now we've talked about all these things, and I'm sure you are all itching to know, how does a company get listed on ethics first? You've talked. How do we get listed, Baba? If you are eager to know how a company can be listed, please share a yes with me in the chat box, and I will let you know, because I'm a nice person. Ernestina says yes. Thank you so much, Ernestina. Georgette says yes. Thank you, Georgette. Eager to know. Thank you, Constance. Thank you so much. Yes. So shall we then? Thank you so much, Madina, to Lily Pearl. Thank you so much. I shall move straight to showing you how you can get listed on Ethics First. It's 3 easy steps. You register, then you sign an integrity pledge, and then you start your enhancement. And what is this start enhancement, and what does it mean? It means that you complete the risk classification questions to determine which risk profile that your company falls under. And then once we determine your risk profile, you will get an enhancement guidance, which will provide you with, in effect, what your next steps will be so that you can be compliant. So when you register and sign, we will assess you, and that's the enhancement. And based on the assessment, you will have some follow-up steps to undertake, or maybe not, who knows? And so when you register, you have to register with, you have to register someone who's called an ACR, and that's an authorized company representative. And that is the person who is authorized by the company or the business owner or the board. And that person will be the one who will sign the integrity pledge in step 2 and make sure that all the information that you give to Rainbow Consult and CIPE about your company are accurate and complete. But why is it important to have an authorized representative for your company when you're setting up on Ethics First? It is because all the information that's uploaded on Ethics First is voluntary, and it will be shared with third parties with the permission of the company. So therefore, the ACR, the authorized company representative, must ensure that that information is accurate, that it is complete, and that it does not violate any of the company standards of the company. And so my last thing that I need to explain, what are privacy standards? The implementers, that is Rainbow Consult and CIPE, we are just assuring you about your privacy, that all the information that you keep will be confidential and it will not be shared without the express permission of the company. So that's about the registration. Then you sign an integrity pledge. And this is some of what is on the integrity pledge on your screen. I'll leave you to read it. It is the CEO, the chief executive officer, or the managing director, or the head of the company that will sign the integrity pledge with the ACR, and it will implement policies, processes, and systems guided by Ethics First to prevent, detect, and respond to all forms of unethical and corrupt practices committed by any of the company's employees, agents, or subsidiaries. And it goes on and on and on. The pledge has so many things, but it's basically saying that the company is interested in integrity. They will make sure that their staff have integrity. They'll make sure that all their dealings have integrity and that all their third parties have integrity. Constance, yes, for sole proprietorship, the business owner can be the authorized rep. That's not a problem at all. That's not a problem at all. And then we move on to step 3, which is the enhancement. And really, that is your risk classification. And you are either going to be put in 3 risk bands: risk group A, risk group B, or risk group C. And usually, what some of the things that determine whether you will be put in either risk group A, B, or C. So risk group A is the highest risk, risk group B, the middle, and risk group C is the lowest risk. And that includes the things we look at when classifying your risk as a company are the number of employees, including short and long-term contractors, the annual turnover of your company in dollars, the number of ICT staff supporting the company, what kind of software you use in the company, the number of locations that you have for your business. Do you have business operations in the US or UK? Because that's also a different risk that we have to assess. How many regulatory agencies have oversight on your company, excluding the registrar and tax authorities? Because if you have a lot of regulatory companies overseeing if you have a lot of regulatory bodies overseeing your company, that means that your risk will be higher, because at every point of contact with the government, there's a risk of corruption and bribes. So these are the risk groups. And this is what enhancements mean. I would like to ask from you, just as we are talking about this, do you have an idea? What do you think the long-term goal of Ethics First might be? As we've discussed Ethics First at length, what do you think the long-term goal of Ethics First might be? We have a goal, and we've been talking about our dream to you so much that I want to know, have you suspected what our dream is at CIPE and Rainbow with our long-term goal for Ethics First? Well, I will tell you. The goal of Ethics First is to prevent, respond, and detect corruption and bribery. Prevent it, that's our first goal. If it is a situation where it has not been prevented and it has happened, we would respond. That's the goal. Or we would detect it. So those are our goals: prevention, response, and detection of bribery and corruption to eliminate it totally in the long run. Those are our goals of ethics, of Ethics First long term. So now that I have shared with you once what the goals of Ethics First are, can you share with me in the chat box? Constance, thank you to say, yes, you are so right. To have businesses in Africa not susceptible to integrity crisis. You are spot on. Thank you so much, Constance. Now I'd like to ask the whole session, the whole team, can you share with me, we just shared it, what are the goals of Ethics First? In the chat box, can you share with me? Well, let me remind you, we said that the goals of Ethics First are three. We said that they are to prevent, respond, and detect bribery and corruption. Those are the three goals of Ethics First: prevent, respond, and detect bribery and corruption. So now I'm going to show you, I mentioned that we look at different areas to look at your risk, and I talked about them briefly, but I'm going to show you the areas that we look at after we have assessed your risk and we are giving you the way forward, your enhancements. These are the areas that we look at. We look at your company or business registration. How compliant are you to tax? Are you compliant to your industry? If you're a food industry, are you FDA compliant? Anti-money laundering laws, are you compliant with AML laws in the country? We also look at your internal controls, your leadership and implementation, your policies and procedures, your operations and personnel support. So we come deep, sit with you, and we look at all these things. We'll also look at how you report corruption. We'll look at your specific bribery risks to your company in general. And then we'll look at how to monitor and improve your compliance system, as well as procurement and third-party oversight. We will look at all of these things, as well as looking at collective action. And we will go deeper into this further in the slides, so I will not even belabor this point. At this point, we shall look over and talk about how does a company get listed on Ethics First. We've talked about the different risk bands. We talked. It takes 12 to 24 months on average for a company to finish getting listed on Ethics First. That's how much it takes on average, 12 to 24 months. But it really also does depend on on your company and how fast you want to go. But it takes on average 12 to 24 months to finish getting listed completely on Ethics First. And thank you so much, Faustina. She said respond, prevent, and detect bribery and corruption. Just repeating so it sticks. That's the spirit and I love it. Thank you so much, Faustina. So let's look at how to get listed on Ethics First. So I told you we have 3 listings. Well, we have the green, the silver, and the gold listing. So let's take a look at the green listing. Companies that are listed as green in Ethics First demonstrate a commitment to business integrity, and they have signed a corporate integrity pledge, and they are evaluating their business integrity profile. And all of this is benchmarked by global best practices. Wow. That's the green listing. You've signed the integrity pledge, and you have said that you evaluate your business, looking at your integrity. Then let's look at the requirements for a green listing on Ethics First. You just have to register on Ethics First. It's an online portal, you register. Then you identify who your users will be, who will be your authorized company representative. You identify that and input that into the system. Then you sign the integrity pledge. Then there's a self-evaluation questionnaire. And so you do that questionnaire, and then there's a basic compliance lab after the questionnaire to help you with the pitfalls that have been noted. And you will attend that basic compliance lab. And it takes between 12 to 24 months for this, from registration to attending the lab to be completed fully. Let's look at the silver listing. There, we are building on everything that we have done for green. So you are completing all your green listing requirements, and then you will remedy the gaps found after the self-evaluation. So for green, we would give you the self-evaluation, you will attend the lab, but you are not requested, you are not required to remedy any of the gaps that have been found for green. And then your directors and business owners have to attend a workshop on ethical leadership. Remember, we keep on talking about the tone at the top. So it's important for the business leaders and directors to know exactly what's going on. And so you can see the difference between the green Ethics First listing and the silver. You can see that there's more required of businesses as you move from green to silver. And then we talk about gold. And companies that are listed gold in Ethics First, they offer investors and their partners assurance by having their business integrity and compliance standards independently verified. And so after Rainbow Consult helps you and you do all that you do, there's also another, because we have a network of CIPE consultants, then we will send all your documents to another consultant who had nothing to do with your whole process to say, evaluate this whole process and see if this company is indeed ethical. So gold standard is that apart from having the systems in place by a site professional, a separate site professional not involved in the process has come to independently verify. Because you see, we know that we are also humans, and sometimes your client, you tend to like your client. And so we have tried to remove all inefficiencies and avenues for bribery and corruption, even within our own system. And so for gold listing, you will have to be independently verified by another consultant. And what are the requirements? As usual, we are building on the silver. So you complete the silver, then you request an independent review. And then you receive, there's a committee that sits after the independent consultant gives their reports, and then you receive their approval. So you see, from silver to gold is not such a big jump at all. So now I'd like to ask you, and I'd like to deploy my third poll at this time. How long does it take for the average company to be listed on Ethics First? Here's my poll. I want to know, please, we've talked about it. How long does it take? How long does it take? I have only 3 people who have answered now. Please share with me. Have I done a good job of explaining it to you? How long does it take for a company to be listed on Ethics First? If you're more comfortable sharing in the chat too, you can. How long does it take? I have only 4 people responding, and we are about 24 in this session. So if I could get some more responses, Mrs. J, do I have time?
Because we want them to fill the evaluation, let's ask for about 10 more minutes after your session to fill that. So instead of closing on the hour, maybe 10 past, please.
If that's okay with you, please. If that's okay with you, please, can you give me a yes on the chat box? If we can use 10 more minutes to wrap up. Thank you so much, Akushika. Thank you so much, Constance. Yes. And Constance, you said 12 to 24 months. Thank you so much for that response too. Thank you so much. At this point, I will end the poll. And I will share the answer with you. It does take, on the average, 12 to 24 months to get an ethics fair listing, but the speed does depend on you, but it does not take up to 3 months. It takes on the average 12 to 24 months, but you can get it done in 3 months if you so desire, because the speed depends on you. It takes so long because most companies take such a long time in gathering all their information together. Thank you so much. So let's talk about, I talked about independent verification during the gold listing. And I'd like to talk to you about the importance of independent verification at gold and what it does for you. It does 2 things. It ensures that your compliance measures in your company are in fact adequate. It ensures that it is adequate, and it affirms that the compliance measures are actually being implemented. So gold listing is the gold standard that, to be honest, we should all aspire to in our business. And so I'm just going to take you through the process of independent verification. We will look at your business registration and clearances. We will look at your compliance support. We will look at your third-party risk, monitoring and improving, policies and procedures, bribery management risks, bribery risk management. We'll look at how you report corruption, and we'll look at your collective action as a company. So I spoke about this earlier, and these things also come to play again when you are being independently verified by the third-party consultant. So these are the things that we look out for when we are looking at your business registration and clearance. Just to give you an idea, because I know that by now you started thinking about it and looking at your documents. So these are the things that we look at for business registration and clearances. I'll just leave it on the screen for you to read. These are what we look at when we say compliance support. This is what we mean. Checklist for new employees, ethical compliance trainings, conflict management, corporate ethics reminders. When we say third-party risks, what are your terms of references or contracts with your third parties? Where's your due diligence questionnaire with your third party? Where's your periodic training and communication with your third party? You'll be looking at all of that when we say we are assessing your third-party risk. And when we say monitoring and improvement, these are the things we look at. I'll just leave it on the screen for you to look at. When we say policies and procedures, these are some of the things that we look at. When we say bribery risk management, these are the things that we look at. When we say reporting, we look at evidence of your reporting systems. Example, do you have an anonymous hotline or reporting box? Can someone just report some bribery, corruption, or wrongdoing anonymously? What is also your record of incident reporting and your proof of prohibition or deterrence of retribution? What is your proof that you prohibit your staff from engaging in bribery and corruption? And when we say collection action, what we mean is a public statement of the company's commitment to business accountability and integrity. And that's why we let you sign an integrity pledge. And usually we ask our companies to display their integrity pledge proudly on their building, somewhere in their building, so everybody can see. And so at this point, I would just like us to do a recap. Can you share with me in the chat box, what do you remember about Ethics First? What do you remember about Ethics First? We are wrapping up. So please, let's share. What do you remember about Ethics First? What do you remember about Ethics First? And also, do you remember any of our objectives? If you do, share with me in the chat box. Data, mechanism, resources. Bamba, thank you so much. Akushika, database, mechanism, resource. Thank you so much. Georgia says Ethics First is a database, a mechanism, and a resource. Thank you so much for your answers. And my question, this is a burning question for me before I leave. Please, classification, Sabina, thank you so much. This is a burning question. I'd like as many people as possible to answer. So, do you think that your company will benefit from sourcing from Ethics First? We have prevention, detection of bribery and corruption. Thank you so much, Madina too. Akusika says yes. Thank you so much, Aku. Do you think your company will benefit from sourcing from Ethics First? Aku says yes. Sabina says yes. Thank you so much, Sabina. Constance says absolutely. Bamba says yes. Chopbox Express is saying yes. Georgette is saying yes. Thank you so much. Medina too says, oh yes. This warms my heart. Thank you so much. Faustina says yes. Thank you so much. And now I just want to remind you, the goal of Ethics First is to boost your company profile and to boost your competitive advantage. And that's why we will look at your ethics and corporate culture. And that's why our goal is to respond, to prevent, and respond. And these are the different assessments, risk assessments, policies and procedures, training and communications. These are the things that we do when we are assessing you on Ethics First. And to achieve a healthy level of prevention, compliance officers or people in charge of compliance in organizations should aim to develop an ethical corporate culture. And a compliance officer should not be perceived as the prosecutor or lawkeeper, but as the business partner who detects and responds to ethics problems before they escalate. Compliance is really everybody's business, not just the compliance officer. And as business owners, I'd like to remind us of the 10-80-10 rule. The 10-80-10, which says that 10% of people in your organization will be corrupt no matter what. Another 10% will have integrity no matter what. But 80% of the people in the organization, whether they'll be corrupt or whether they'll be people of integrity, depends on the rules, regulations, and the atmosphere and the culture in the organization. So the 10-80-10 rule. That means that, well, we can try to prevent and deter the 10% who will be unethical no matter what. But we have 90% who can potentially be ethical. And so we need to set systems in place so that we will have 90% of our businesses ethical, rather than 90% of our employees in business unethical. At this point, we are at the conclusion, and I'd like you to share with me, just in 2 words, in 1 word, what have you learned from this session? Just 1 word. Please share with me in the chat box in 1 word. What are you taking away with you from this session? One word, please. Sustainability. Thank you so much, Bamba. Thank you so much. In one word. Reshaping. Sabina, thank you so much. Compliance. Thank you so much, Constance. Database ethics. Thank you so much, Chobox Express. Akushika says integrity. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contributions. At this point, oh, I have more coming in. So sorry. Discipline, Medina too. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And at this point, you can keep your learnings coming in. I'll be reading them as they come in. But I'd like to recap our session objectives. We said that at the end of this session, we should be able to investigate the need to prevent corruption for the sustainable success of our organizations. And we also should be able to explain how a company can get listed on ethics first. Have we been able to do all of this? If we have, please give me a big yes in the chat box. Thank you so much. Yes. Akushika says yes. Bamba says yes. Constance also says yes. Sabina says yes. Medina too says yes. Thank you so much, ladies, for your kindness. So if we've been able to reach all our objectives for this session, I'd like to ask you, what are the questions, comments, or clarifications that you may require? Adam says yes too. What are the questions, comments, or clarifications that you may require? Please feel free to share in the chat box or to unmute yourself and ask the question. If there are no questions, comments, or clarifications, can you please, let's do our last poll for the day, and let us look at our level of confidence again. And so please share with me. Yes, please, our presentation can be distributed for you for some more knowledge. That can be done, Sabina. Please share with me on a level of 1 to 5, on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest and 5 being the highest. How confident are you in your organization's ability to prevent and mitigate corruption and fraud risk in your operations? Please, if you can share your poll, if you can share your answers with me. Thank you so much. I have a few responses. Thank you so much. The responses keep coming in. Please keep responding. Please keep answering. I just want a few more. Okay, thank you all so much. Thank you all so much for your responses. We do have an evaluation that will be following. Please, if you did enjoy your time with us in this course, before I share our resources and before we end this class, because it's over, we are ending shortly. And when you exit this Zoom meeting, an evaluation will pop up. We would be very grateful if you could evaluate this session for us and for our records. It's very important to us that you please fill the evaluation form for us at the end of this session. And looking at the results of the poll, I think we have more people in the 3, 4, and 5 now than we did in the beginning. And so we have 25% saying 3, 63% saying 4, and 8, and 13% saying 5. Thank you so much. And a reminder that at the end of this session, a survey will pop up. It's an evaluation for this session, and it is important for us to have the evaluation so we can write a good report on what's transpired during this session. So please do well to fill it for us. If you will fill the evaluation, please give me a yes in the chat box. And while we do that, these are some resources, and we will share them with you. These are the resources available. Thank you so much for your yeses. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. These are the resources that will be available. We will share the slides with you, and so you will see these resources. You will see these resources. And we do offer these compliance services to our clients. So we wanted you to know that we do offer transition to a clean enterprise, compliance evaluations, drafting of policies and procedures, and also training and capacity development to our clients where compliance is involved. We also offer we track change and compliance monitoring. We do departmental risk assessments and analysis. We also do third-party due diligence and procurement. At this point, I'd like to remind you of who your facilitators were. So I'll hand over to Mrs. J to remind you of who she was.
Barbara, thank you very much. For those of you who joined after I had introduced myself, my name is Margaret Jackson. I'm a workplace learning consultant. I've been helping SMEs to start up and also run efficiently and to achieve profitability all across the continent, from Ghana right down to Sudan, South Sudan, to name it. I've been working on the continent, and I'm an expert facilitator for the LPI, a master trainer for IFC. I'm a master trainer for instructional design for the IFC. I mean, I'm a certified coach for the International International Federation of Coaches, Coaching Federation, sorry. I could go on and on. I don't want to bore you with what I have done in my credentials. But if anything is in me, I am available to support you. Over to you, Barbara.
Thank you so much. And yes, this has been me, also Barbara Jackson. I'm a partner at Rainbow Consults, and as I mentioned, I'm an expert trainer for the Learning and Performance Institute, which means I go around training trainers on how to facilitate for both online and design for online sessions for the Learning and Performance Institute. This is my email to contact us. I am also in charge of the Rainbow Consults relationship with CIPE. And I mentioned in the earlier that I am fresh off just a few months of receiving an award from CIPE. CIPE was awarding its consultants in Africa, and I did receive a recognition as one of the CIPE consultants who adds great value to our network. And so you are in good hands where compliance and compliance systems are involved for your company. It has been a pleasure meeting you, and we really do look forward to further engagements with you.
Please, please, please fill the evaluation.
Thank you so much. And please, please, please fill the evaluation form that comes as you exit. And for exiting, on the bottom of the screen, right corner of your screen, you see a button, like the one displayed on the screen. When you click on that red leave button, another leave button will click to leave it to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you all so much. Please fill our evaluation for us, and it's been a pleasure meeting you this afternoon. Thank you.
Bye for now. Bye. The form only.
Please go ahead.
No, go ahead.
The form will pop up once you exit the conversation, the meeting, the form will pop up, the evaluation form.
So if you don't have further questions, it's okay to exit now. Please click on leave, and leave meeting will pop up, and then you click leave meeting and leave the meeting and fill the evaluation form. We need you to fill the evaluation form. So please, if you don't have further questions, if you could kindly leave meeting now, we'll be most grateful.